Hi, Lumen Christie families. Great to see you. Today's video is going to spend some time explaining the results of last night's school commission meeting. I did share with you in my January principal chat that our school commission was meeting last night to discuss the temporary emergency protocols that were put in place prior to Christmas. Today's email, our highlights email, includes the specific details of what they did approve. I'm going to walk through with you today some of the rationale behind those decisions. We pride ourselves on transparency and we pride ourselves on partnership with you. And I feel it's very important that you have an understanding of where we're coming from as a school and why we make the recommendations and the steps forward that we do and that we are going to be making. So without further ado, I'm going to be starting by just sharing one basic piece with you is that when we make decisions, when our admin team meets, please know that we spend many hours on these decisions, analyzing them, analyzing our data, talking to the health department, talking to medical professionals that we trust, talking to teachers to see where they're at, other staff members in the building. So we gather multiple resources. And then we sit down and we dig through, we look at what are other schools doing, what's best for our school is always at the forefront. We also are still trying to balance those pillars that we started with way back in 2020, social emotional, academics, and health and safety. Those have to be as balanced as they can be, or we start to lose course. So we always bring our conversations back to those three pillars. And again, we're doing hard things right now, as you'll see, and making decisions for 400 plus people in a building as well. So we're trying to balance all of that into our plan. So I'm going to talk through those changes that were made and the things that were discussed with you right now. And the first is probably the easiest to talk about is quarantining. And the admin team made the recommendation last night to school commission to go with the shortened quarantining period that I'm sure you've been hearing about on the news. The details are in the email, and it really gets healthy kids back in school sooner. And the school commission did approve that Lumen Christie move towards the shortened quarantining period, along with the protocols around that. Again, you can find the details of that in the highlights today. Second thing we talked about, the second component was masking. And again, mindful that this is the one that brings the kind of the most emotion along with it. We want to make sure that we are making decisions that support our teachers first and foremost, and making sure that they feel safe coming to work every day. They're in front of our kids for 6 hours a day. We want to make sure we're supporting where they are at with the masking, as well as looking back at some of our data. So we feel that we are back in school for just over a week now, and we know we have a long weekend ahead of us. And many of our families are planning to go out of town, the Dells, different visits. And when we look back, we see that there's typically a little more COVID activity following a time away from school. So we made the recommendation that we mask through next week, Friday. That allows, again, to address our teachers wanting to feel safe, as well as knowing that by next week, Friday, if there is any COVID activity over that long weekend, we feel that that would be popping up by probably Wednesday, Thursday, or that Friday. So we would know it at that time. The caveat is the masking is through Friday. Parent choice then begins on Saturday because we have some weekend activities. It's not hinged upon anything. We're going back to our August plan as of 3 p.m. on that Friday, where it becomes parent choice. Please note that if there is a class that has one or two cases, we are falling under the August protocols, where masking becomes recommended at 1 and then expected at 2. So that sort of takes over at 3 p.m. on Friday. And that's how we'll then go into the weekend and the weeks to come. So we're going back to our old practices after next week, Friday. The third area we looked at was quarantining of classes. Currently, we're seeing 2 kids in a grade level or a homeroom. The whole class is home. We made the recommendation that that goes back to administrative decision, knowing that we know the kind of intricacies of these cases. We feel like it can't be a cookie cutter approach to that. So we asked for the grace to be allowed to look at each case individually and make decisions based on the information that we would have. And school commission also did approve that. So we're grateful for them. As I started this out, we have our 3 pillars. So in an effort to build our school community and support that social, emotional health of our students, as well as our staff and everybody in the building, we are going to begin to explore some opportunities for students in different grades to start to do some interaction. One piece of information I heard from students the last couple of weeks since we've been back from Christmas is there's really a lack of joy and those kind of fun factors that we have so many memories. I know I do about being in elementary and middle school. And some students were sharing with me that it's just really kind of like Groundhog's Day. You come to school, you go to class, you do your class stuff. There might be some fun things in the classroom happening, and then you go home. And then you repeat that, and then you go home. Where in the past, there was always something on the horizon to look forward to, whether it be door decorating or building forts outside, having a contest that way. There's always little things to look forward to that really sparks the relationship building, the memories, and just that positivity and that joy. So we did ask school commission to kind of grant us their grace and allowing us to start to explore how we can start to make baby steps towards bringing that joy back. And that was something that they also supported. Finally, I want to just end this time today with you by asking for your continued assistance, your continued patience, your understanding, and really just the resilience in working with us on the pandemic and the COVID that we are currently still living in. What really makes us a strong community is that relationship that we have between you and the school. We can't do it by ourselves, and you can't do it. We need to work together. And I really value that as the leader of this organization. And I thank you for that. Well, I recognize that what was shared today is not going to be something that everyone's going to agree with. Probably very likely that most people don't agree with everything. I understand that. I do need and I ask for your support. These decisions are not made flippantly. They are made with a lot of thoughts. As most of you know, I have my own children in this school as well. So they personally impact me as a person, as a mom. And it's nothing that just is just made with, oh, let's just do this. So while you might not agree with them, I really ask you to support them. I also respectfully ask that when you receive this email and read through everything, that you refrain from sending opinionated emails to myself, to members of our admin team, and through that feedback forum. It's great that we have opinions, but those things aren't going to change our protocols at this point. This is how we're moving forward. I once again thank you. I look forward to continuing to work with you, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening.